Welcome to the Explainer. So let me ask you a question right out of the gate. Do you realize that right now, as you're sitting there, a massive wealth of local legal history, I'm talking everything from high-stakes civil lawsuits to deeply personal family disputes, is sitting literally just a click away?
It is absolutely true. A lot of people just assume they have to pay exorbitant fees to sketchy commercial background check websites or even hire private investigators to get their hands on this information. But actually, accessing Douglas County court records is surprisingly easy, and it doesn't require a law degree or deep pockets. You can do it using completely free digital tools, straight from your couch.
Okay, let's dive into this because this all starts with how the Colorado state court system operates. They work under a really powerful fundamental principle, and that is transparency. Specifically, under Colorado Chief Justice Directive 05-01, court records are presumed open to the public. Basically, the system is designed for you to be able to see what's happening inside it. It completely empowers you as a citizen.
To get you started, here's our roadmap for today. We'll briefly cover the public records landscape, navigate the new 23rd District, jump into accessing records online, look at alternative methods, review the legal rules, and then wrap it all up.
Starting right off with Section 1, the public records landscape.
So, when we talk about court records, what exactly do we mean? Well, we're talking about the official documents generated throughout a legal proceeding. This includes civil lawsuits, criminal files, property judgments, and probate cases, which deal with things like wills and estates. You might need these to research a local business you want to work with, or maybe you're just incredibly curious about how a specific dispute in your community played out. Now, while the law guarantees your right to access these, the real friction, it's just knowing which specific digital doors to knock on. If you don't know the exact portal, you might hit a paywall. So knowing exactly where to look is your master key.
Moving on to Section 2, navigating the 23rd District.
Before you even begin your search, you absolutely have to understand your jurisdiction. For decades, Douglas County was grouped into the massive 18th Judicial District. But, thanks to explosive population growth, the system had to evolve. Following a 2020 bill and a 2022 ballot measure, the brand new 23rd Judicial District officially launched in January of 2025. Douglas County now sits alongside Elbert and Lincoln counties. And keep in mind, this structure includes both county courts, which handle smaller claims and misdemeanors, and district courts, which take on the larger civil suits and felonies. Knowing which court handles your specific inquiry is going to save you so much time.
All right, Section 3, accessing court records online.
So, the crucial point is knowing which of the two state-sanctioned free digital tools to use for your specific needs. On one hand, we have the docket search. Think of this as your engine for finding upcoming court dates, schedules, and physical courtrooms. On the other hand, we have the RPAT, or Remote Public Access Terminal. This is the tool you want when you need to actually read or download the underlying civil case filings and documents. Let's walk through a hypothetical using the docket search. Say you want to look up an upcoming civil trial involving a local contractor. First, you'll visit the official state portal at courts.state.co.us and find the docket search. Next, select Douglas or Douglas Combined Court from the county drop-down menu. And here's a huge trap that catches a lot of people. You must apply a secondary filter. You have to put in the contractor's last name, or the attorney's name, or a case number. If you just type in today's date and hit search, the system will literally just give you an error message. You have to provide that targeted detail.
Now, what if you actually want to read the lawsuit itself? That's where the RPAT comes in. This system is actually a fascinating silver lining from the COVID-19 pandemic, back when the state had to close the Supreme Court Law Library. To get this incredible free read-only access to civil documents, you just email the Supreme Court Law Librarian directly at library@judicial.state.co.us. They'll send you a temporary password. Then, you just set up multi-factor authentication for security. The only catch is you do need to remember to renew your access every 90 days. Yes, it's a few extra hoops to jump through, but it gives you unprecedented access to civil documents from anywhere.
Which brings us to Section 4, alternative search methods.
Now, what's really interesting here is the cost comparison. While online tools are amazing, sometimes you might need official, certified copies, or maybe you're looking for older historical files that just aren't digitized. Traditional channels exist, but they come with a cost. For example, if you go to the courthouse for probate documents, wills, estates, that sort of thing, a descendant's estate filing carries a statutory fee of $229. A small estate is $113, and physical copies vary by page. But if you're just researching and use the RPAT route, it is literally $0. Free, read-only access.
If you absolutely have to step outside the free digital tools, you do have options. You can head in person to the Douglas County Courthouse over at 4000 Justice Way in Castle Rock. You can also mail a formal record request form to the clerk of court or even use an authorized commercial vendor like cocourts.com. Just remember, these alternative routes are almost always going to incur per-page copying fees, research fees, or subscription costs.
Up next, Section 5, Legal and Ethical Rules.
Look, great access comes with strict responsibilities. You are handling real information about real people, and the state does not mess around here. When you sign up for the RPAT, you're greeted with this intense all-caps warning. This is a legally binding agreement. You must fully read this before remotely accessing the remote public access terminal. This is definitely not your standard terms of service that you just blindly scroll past. You absolutely cannot use these free records for automated data scraping, tenant screening, or consumer background checks. If you do, your access will be permanently revoked.
It's also super important to understand what you cannot see. Yes, court records are presumed open, but Colorado statutes carve out very specific exceptions to protect privacy. You're not going to find juvenile cases, sealed records, or certain highly sensitive probate and mental health files on these portals. Juvenile proceedings, for instance, are strictly restricted under the law to protect the identities and the futures of the minors involved. And hey, even when you access the right documents, you might hit a wall of complex legal jargon. If you're feeling totally lost in the terminology, don't worry, it happens to everyone. The 23rd District actually runs a self-help center right there at the courthouse. They are there specifically to assist self-represented folks with forms and procedural support. While they can't give you actual legal advice, they are a total game changer for helping you make sense of the process and all that paperwork. Finally, Section 6, Recap and Next Steps. Let's pull this all together and review your master strategy. 1. Court records are presumed open by law. It is your fundamental right to see this information. 2. Know your jurisdiction. Douglas County is now part of the new 23rd Judicial District. 3. If you just need to check schedules and dates, use the docket search. And 4. If you want to actually read civil filings from the comfort of your couch, apply for RPAT access through the Supreme Court Law Librarian.
Real quick, I do need to give a mandatory disclaimer. This explainer is purely for educational and informational purposes. It is absolutely not legal advice. If you're in the middle of a legal battle or you have specific, complex concerns about your own records, please consult a qualified legal professional who can look at your specific situation.
Well, we've cracked the code. With the digital doors of justice now wide open and these powerful, completely free tools ready to go, whose public records are you going to look up first? I highly encourage you to dive into the legal history of your community and definitely let us know in the comments what fascinating things you find. If you found this explainer helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this with anyone who wants to empower themselves with public knowledge. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy searching!